content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Sunday. Such a privilege. It's such an honor to be back here with you today on Millennium TV 24, Money Talks. I am your host, Cynthia Abbott, and today we will be talking about the Great Resignation, as it has everything to do with your finances, everything to do with your money, right? So let's go right into it, because I have a question for you. What were we all taught from childhood? We were taught to do well in school, right? We were taught to go to college, right? We were taught to get a good job, and that should equal your dream life. How is that going so far? As I always say, most people do not plan to fail. They just fail to plan. That plan is not working for most people. And so what's happening? We have the Great Resignation. People are resigning from their job in masses. And this has everything to do with people working remotely. But did you know people were working remotely for many decades, for years? People were working remotely. People were working independently, working from home. So it's going into a full circle right now because people have been interrupted. The interruption of COVID-19, the interruption of their finances, the interruption of their work-life balance. So people are resigning in droves. Now here's another question for you. Why do people fail when it comes to their finances? Same question, I know. Because most people conform. Many of us have been following the wrong group of people and never ask why. The wrong group. We have been following people who are not, keyword, not making it financially. And most of us have been indoctrinated and taught our whole life that the best way towards the good life is to get a good, secure job with good benefits and become an employee. Because that's what we were taught. How is that working out so far? Well, as I said before, we know how that's working out because we have the Great Resignation. According to Microsoft 2021 Work Trend Index, 41% of people are likely to consider leaving their jobs within the next year. Don't you think that's a very high number? Well, I think so. 41% is a very high number to me. And I see that. I've already been seeing throughout my work as I deal with clients, as I recruit more people onto my team who are looking to do what I've been doing. Working from home remotely. Being independent. Being able to say, I want to work when I want, where I want, with whom I want. For as little as I want or as much as I want. I've been offering that opportunity. And now I see more people are open to accepting that opportunity due to the fact that this Great Resignation, they've had time to think about their personal finances. They've had time to look at how they're working and look at how now they can spend time with their families. They can work wherever they want. they can move to a better location that is less expensive and work from home so they can free up more money to save and plan for the future. 2020 vision is real. It has been dubbed the Great Resignation by an organizational psychologist, Dr. Robert Klutz. And for good reason. According to him, we've witnessed the greats across history, the Great Recession or the Great Depression. Now we have the Great Resignation. The impact could be monumental, according to Dr. Klotz. It is starting to look that way as we go towards the end of 2021. Just think about the implications for a minute. Let's say, you are a business owner. You're building your business. You rely on these talents to be able to bring in that profit because revenue, right, and profits is what drives a business. Expenses is the employees. So when you think about the expense side, as an employee, if you're on the expense side, you're at a disadvantage. It is a fact. So if a company wants to be able to stay strong, build their revenue, bring in a profit, they have to cut their expenses. It's just business 101. You have to cut your expenses in order to stay standing. And the first cut is an employee. So employees are starting to see that. They're at a disadvantage. And when you think about some employees who are so ambitious driven, who are the go-getters, the ones you see, at work who never stop working, refuse to take a break because they want to remain the number one employee on the job. They have that, what I call that entrepreneurial spirit, where they want to do their job 110% better than anyone else. The satisfaction that they're getting from doing that is very low. So they're reported. They have reported actually, and I have talked to so many of them. They're unappreciated. Even though they're working after they leave work and go home, they're unappreciated. They don't feel like they're valued in the workplace. Now they're looking at different options of how they can make that inner driven greatness that they have come out by working for themselves. But according to Microsoft research, they've found that 54% of Generation Z workers could be considering handing in their resignation. Just in that category alone, Generation Z, they're looking into handing in their resignation because they don't have a say when it comes to the job force. They don't have an opinion as to how the company is supposed to be run. Their opinion doesn't count. And when you think about Generational Z, they love to be innovative. They grew up with technology, right? So if they can't really put their skills to work and their voices can't be heard, this is why 54% of them will be giving their resignation. And they are really excited, folks. They're excited about doing something more. They're excited about making a change and making an impact in this world. They want an opportunity to be able to do that. So in that space, they really can't do what they are taught to do, is give it their all. So now they're looking at other options like entrepreneurship. I am really excited that I'm in a space where I can help the masses of the people to be able to put themselves in a position where they can work when they want, with whom they want, because they found out working from home, they didn't have to deal with the angry coworkers, the people they don't care to spend their 8 hours with. So it has shifted the mindset as to, I am not going back to that workspace. I want to do something that's more fulfilling. I want to use up my creativity. The other factor is they're burnt out. We've seen the headlines. Burnout right now is real. According to Microsoft survey, 37% of the global workforce say that companies are asking too much of them. 1 in 5 think their employer doesn't care about them. They don't care about their work-life balance. They don't care that even though they're working from home, they might have a family that they need to attend to. They don't care that they might need to take a day off or an hour off. I personally have spoken to so many of them. I spoke with this one gentleman, and he told me it's very difficult for him to use the bathroom. So I was appalled because he's working from home. But according to him, working from home is so much more stressful because he's getting double the work. And because there's this great resignation on the rise, some employees who are still on the job have to do 3 people's job, 4 people's job, 5 people's job, because there's such a shortage in employees. So what do? You look at other options. So because technology have been the great enabler for us all to continue to do our jobs, right? And to keep our economy and the societies from total collapsing over the past 18 months. Based on Microsoft Teams. So according to them, 42% of employees are sending more chats after hours. And with 50% of the people responding within 5 minutes. So they're working so much more from home now, and the work is being piled on. So now they've realized that, wait a minute, I am not being appreciated. I need to do something else. So this is why we're hearing about this great resignation. And being in a position of strength where you're able to make decisions for yourself, it makes a huge difference. And I can tell you that most people now are they're looking for a way out. But even if you look for a way out, you have to know that way is going to work for you. You have to be comfortable with your decision. You have to be willing to make some sacrifices. And I will talk about those sacrifices that will be needed in order for you to strive in your new venture, whatever that is. Because having freedom of time, freedom of choice, freedom to work when you want, wherever you want, you cannot put a price on that. Wouldn't you agree? You just can't put a price on how much you can make. You can promote yourself in some businesses, not all. But I know in my business, we get to promote ourselves. We get ownership. We're able to hire as many people as we want. We're able to make sure that they get trained. Having a license also is key because you're more valuable in the society, in the communities that you serve. The clients, the consumers, they're looking at you different now. So it's not just about doing anything. It's about doing and providing value We must focus on the value that we're providing to our communities. It makes such a big difference. So when I return, we will continue talking about the Great Resignation and the sacrifices that need to be made if you're thinking about entrepreneurship or if you've already stepped into entrepreneurship. So stay tuned.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Welcome back as we talk about the Great Resignation. We talk about entrepreneurship. We talk about sacrificing. So let's talk a little bit more about the sacrifices that need to be made. But I want to ask you a question before I get started. Did you know that if you're willing to commit to something big, did you know that if you're willing to put your all in, that you can actually build an empire, build wealth? But how do you do anything without commitment? Can you really do much without committing? The commitment has to be there. If you're not willing to commit, you're not really willing to do whatever it takes to take you to the next level. So even with the Great Resignation, you have to be able to be willing to give up certain things, because you have to give up to go up. You have to be willing to push other people up to go up. You have to be willing to commit to a pain of change. Are you willing to commit? If at the tone of my voice right now, you're one of those people who are faced with a compromising situation on the job, you are faced with opposition, let me ask you a question. Are you willing to settle, or are you willing to make a change? Are you willing to settle, or are you willing to make a change? The decision is yours. It's yours only. I've had challenges, I've had setbacks, but I never dwell on them in order to be an entrepreneur, in order to be a business owner. Those challenges will come. But when you decide to settle, you can't fight those challenges. Those challenges are what drives you to do more. And everybody will not support you. Everybody will not like you. Who cares? You're living out your greatness. Who cares if they don't support you? You believe in yourself, and you can do anything. So let's talk about the sacrifices that you need to make in order for you to go to the next level. And one of those sacrifices is sacrificing family. Yes, I said it, family. You may have to sacrifice spending time with family so you can build something substantial. So if those family members have an issue later on, you can help them financially. Spending less time going to all the parties, the barbecues, the weddings, the birthday parties. You don't have to be everywhere. You don't have to be there. You have to let your family know you're working on something big. So you have to think about that sacrifice that you must make. And if you're in a compromising position in a relationship, Another sacrifice that must be made, relationship sacrifice. You're in a compromising position in a relationship. You may have to give up a toxic relationship in order for you to go up. Remember, you have to give up to go up. So if you're in a position where you have a spouse, you have a significant other that don't support your goals, don't support your dreams, they're not there with you in, day out, just giving you the accolades that you need in order to push through the challenges of life to be able to go up, because you're doing it not just for you, but for your loved ones. If they're not willing to support you, you will have to make that sacrifice. Sometimes the sacrifice is temporary. Sometimes it's permanent. But I can tell you, it's for the betterment of you and your financial future. Another sacrifice that must be made is sleep. Yes, I know we need to sleep. We all need to get a good night rest. But you don't need to sleep for hours after hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. You have to collapse the time frame when you're in business for yourself. You have to collapse the time when you're building something strong. So you will have to look at what time you're going to bed. You may have to go to bed a little bit later and wake up a little bit earlier. Temporary, until you get to your goal. You don't have to do this forever. But I can tell you from experience, building a traditional business, there was a lot of sacrifices that I had to make. I can tell you that it wasn't easy. I can tell you that I had to sacrifice so many things. And these are some of the things I'm telling you now that has to be sacrificed. And you talk to anyone who have built an empire, build a business. And I'm not talking about us just being a solopreneur. I'm talking about also being an entrepreneur, a business owner, building something strong where you can have other people working for you so you don't have to do it all by yourself. Those sacrifices such as the need to be liked. Don't worry about who don't like you. Don't worry about who don't see your vision. It's okay. There are many people who don't like me. They may not like the way I speak. They may not like the way I look. They may not like my confidence. They may not like my ambition. But I don't care, because it's not about them. It's about me, my future generation. So sacrifice that. It is necessary. You may have to sacrifice income. Yes. Don't believe that you have to stay on your job until your side hustle profits look like what you're bringing home from the job. Don't do it. Don't do it. I've tried it. It didn't work. That's not how it works. You have to go all in. You can't half step if you're going all the way up. The people at the top didn't half step their way to the top. They went all in. They paid the price. They told you they paid the price. And these are the things they did in order to get there. They had to sacrifice not making that, same amount of money they were making on the job initially. It takes time to be able to do that. So you have to then think about, how are you going to live? How are you going to sacrifice that money that was coming in that you're not getting right now because you decide to go into business for yourself, being an entrepreneur or solopreneur until you can be an entrepreneur? You have to think about living way beneath your means. Not within your means, not living up with, trying to keep up with the Joneses, but living way beneath your means. in order for you to make that sacrifice to go up. Living beneath your means is key. What else must you sacrifice? I would say sacrificing your pride. Yeah. Get rid of some of that ego that you have to be a certain way. Get rid of that pride and humble yourself. Allow someone to help to push you up. Allow somebody to criticize you. Great criticism does help. I love when my mentor criticizes me because it helps me to grow. Get rid of the pride. Sacrifice that so you can go up. Because you can win at business, at entrepreneurship. You need a coach. You cannot do this by yourself. Again, I tried it. It didn't work. You need someone to be able to hold you accountable, to say, hey, wait a minute. You said you was working towards such and such. I don't see you doing what's necessary. I think you're getting a little bit lax. You need to up your game. Somebody just to remind you and hold you accountable. Just like playing any sports. You have a coach. You have a coach that say, pick it up, pick up the pace and let's go. Don't do it by yourself. You can get there faster with having someone mentoring you, someone who have seen the what not to do versus what to do, who can say, hey, we can cut a few years off from you getting to that goal if you don't do what I did wrong. I've learned from my mistakes, so don't do it. So those are some of the sacrifices that one have to make. Lifestyle is another sacrifice. What type of lifestyle are you living? Where are you living? You may have to sacrifice not living in luxury right now. You may have to sacrifice not fully furnishing your house or your apartment right now. You may have to sacrifice not having a television. You need cable. No, you don't. You only need internet. You really don't need cable. I know some people told me, yeah, of course. How could you not have cable, Cynthia? Well, I tell you why. Because it's a lifestyle sacrifice in order to go up. There's so many things nowadays that you have to give up. And that's just a few things, because when we talk about entrepreneurship, we're talking about a deep passion that you have. So if you're giving up the job, if you're giving up a lot of other things that you think you shouldn't be doing, because now you have 20/20 vision. If you want to really win at business and entrepreneurship, this is how you know that you are built for entrepreneurship. You have a deep, deep desire to win no matter what happens in life. You have a deep, deep passion to change lives. You have a deep passion to change the world. You have the most creative skills that you didn't know you have. Endless creativity. When you run out of one idea, another one pops up. This is how you know you're built for entrepreneurship, making a vast difference in many lives across the United States and across the world. You also are a self-starter. You're self-motivated. So you don't really need to pay a coach to get you motivated. If you're paying a coach to get you motivated, stop. You have to be self-motivated. No one can motivate you. Someone can inspire you. They can pour into you to get you more inspired so that you can become more motivated. But motivation comes from deep within. Do not pay a coach for motivation. Pay a coach for inspiration. Pay a coach to hold you accountable. Pay a coach to help you to get to the next level. But if you don't have that inner motivation, that entrepreneurship inside of you that wants to come out and come to life, there's no need for you to pay for that. You can't pay for that. You cannot pay for greatness. It comes from within. Your attitude. Attitude and gratitude. You have to have an attitude of gratitude on a daily basis. Just being so thankful. I am always so thankful when I wake up in the morning. I'm so thankful that I can speak, I can walk, I can move all my limbs. You have to have an attitude of greatness, because when you talk with people, if you're in the people's business, okay? You're in the people's business. They need to see your passion. They need to feel that you have a great attitude. They need to feel that just because they may not see things your way, you're not going to develop an attitude and start doubting what they're saying or putting them down, because that won't get you much so far in business. It won't get you far at all. You have to have a positive attitude at all times. Even when the roof comes down and everything is falling apart and everything just don't seem to be going right, just make sure you keep a positive attitude. You never know, because when you're in business and you're going for something great, everything can go wrong. But you have to know that even though it's all going wrong, people are watching you. They're watching you and they're seeing how you flow. They're seeing how you handle adversity. Take it and run with it when adversity comes. It's a sign that you're on your way to greatness. It's a sign that you're building something big. It's a sign that you are on track. It's not a sign to say, oh, this is not for me. No, it's not. It's a sign. Failure equals a success. You must fail in order to succeed. You must. If you're trying to avoid failure, you will not succeed. Okay. So I am going to wrap up, and I will take commercial break, and I'll be right back so that we can finish up today's session. Hang in there, guys.
Millennium TV, bridging communities worldwide. We broadcast diverse international content from Europe, Asia, Africa, and now right here in the USA. Watch us via Roku on your smart TV. Submit your own content to 1530entertainmentllc@gmail.com. Download the Millennium TV app from the App Store to stream our shows anywhere, anytime. Millennium TV.
Welcome back. Welcome back. This is such an exciting topic. I get fired up when I talk about entrepreneurship, mentorship, helping one to get to their greatness, using up all their creativity. I love being creative, because in business, you have to be creative, especially when you market in your business. You're marketing, you putting yourself out there, letting people know who you are, what you provide, the services you provide, and being a servant. I love being a servant. I serve my people. I serve my clients. I make sure I am accessible. That's another key, being accessible to your clients. I love that my clients know that they can call me anytime. It doesn't matter. I do not work a 9 to 5, so call me anytime. I think we're seeing that great resignation also, because that 9 to 5 is going to be one day vanished. It's going to be gone. No one will be looking to work 9 to 5, because when you're talking about providing a service to your clientele, being there for them, being of service to them, you promise to give them the best of you. You promise them that they will have the best quality care. And if you're not accessible to them, how are you providing them with quality? How are you providing them with value? Being available to your client is another key when it comes to entrepreneurship. You don't just establish an account. You don't just establish business and disappear. That's not what my clients get when I provide services to them. That's not how it goes when you talk about entrepreneurship. That's not how it goes. You must be available. You just don't run away just because they did business with you, because my clients refer other clients to me. So when you develop that relationship with your clients and you treat them like you would want to be treated, you give them what they need in order to stay on that journey, especially when you're talking about staying on the journey to greatness with your clients, making sure that they're able to build their financial independence, because it's not all about you. It's not all about your financial independence. It's not all about you putting things in place to make sure your financial house is in order and theirs is not. No, it's about them. The more service you provide, the more money you can make. But you have to focus on providing good quality services to your clients. And to wrap up, let's recap. The great resignation is at hand. I am always looking for great people to coach, to mentor. I am always looking for more people who have a vision of doing great things for the vast majority of our society. The people who want to bring out that greatness that they've been dreaming about for years and haven't had the opportunity because they have no say. Their opinion doesn't count. If I'm speaking to you, just know that I care. I want the best for you. I want you to know that there's a better way. If you're uninterested in a 9 to 5 until age 65, you're listening to the right message right now. If you no longer want to be treated like a slave on the job, you're listening to the right message right now. If you're tired and sick and tired of living paycheck to paycheck, you're listening to the right message right now. If you're tired of just making ends meet, you're listening to the right message right now. But if you're convinced that there's a better way, such as entrepreneurship, building your own brand, being in business for yourself, you're truly listening to the right message right now. So remember, you must give up to go up. What are you willing to give up? What are you willing to change in order for things to change for you, for your family, for your next generation? What are you willing to do? If you're not willing to make those sacrifices, don't blame anyone else. Don't blame the government. Don't blame your family. Don't blame your friends. You look in the mirror and you blame that person. You have options. This is Millennium TV 24. Thank you so much for listening. In sponsorship with Roku TV, Amazon TV, Apple TV, and all your smart TVs. Please remember to download our app on your Android or your iPhone. And you can catch us on YouTube. We do stream on YouTube, Facebook Live. You can catch me on Instagram, Cynthia_Abbott1. Tune in next week, same time, same place. Have a beautiful week and a safe one.